Children, today we are going to discuss about Rolle's theorem. What is Rolle's theorem? What are the conditions of Rolle's theorem, and how we are going to see that whether the Rolle's theorem is applicable or not. Let's discuss first what is Rolle's theorem. Rolle's theorem states that whenever there is a function, whenever there is a continuous curve and there is an interval a and b. See, this is a continuous curve and this is the interval a and b. In between the interval, the theorem says there must exist at least one point C at which if a tangent is drawn, that tangent will become parallel to x-axis. The theorem says that in between AB there is a point C. At C, if we draw a tangent, that tangent becomes parallel to x-axis. Right? This is a theorem. Right? And it could be one tangent, it could be more than one tangent. See, I have taken an example here. Here, between the interval a comma b, you can draw three tangents. That means there exists more than one point at which the tangent is drawn. That tangent is parallel to x-axis. Right, children. Let's see how we are going to prove that, what are the conditions and how we are going to prove that whether Rolle's theorem is applicable or not. First condition is the function must be continuous. Right. That means if a tangent is drawn or the derivative of function exists, that means the function must be continuous. So the first condition must be the continuity of the function to check whether the function is continuous or not in the closed interval. Remember, children, this is an important point. We have to check the continuity in the closed interval a comma b. Next point is the function must be derivable in the open interval. That means in between a and b, if we draw tangent, the derivative, the tangent exists. Right. Third point is the value of the function at a and the value of the function at b are equal. That means at a and b, function must have the same value. If all the three conditions are verified, then we can say that now the Rolle's theorem is applicable. Hence, we can say that there must exist any point C in between A and B such that tangent is at C, tangent is parallel to x-axis. Now, what is the slope of x-axis? It's 0. The slope of x-axis is 0. That means if we find the derivative of the function fx at C, that will be f dash C. It will be 0. Why it is 0? Because the slope of the tangent, the slope of x-axis is 0. Right? Note down, please. Okay, let's see some, children, to understand more clearly the conditions, how we are going to apply the conditions and how we are going to prove that whether the Rolle's theorem is applicable or not, and how we calculate the point at which the tangent is parallel to x-axis. Suppose the question is given like verify Rolle's theorem and find the point in the interval where derivative is 0. Like this. And the function is given as fx equals to x square plus 2x minus 8 and x belongs to minus in the closed interval minus 4 comma 2. That means x is lying between minus 4, x is greater than equals to minus 4 and less than equals to 2. Right. Now let's see first condition. The function, first condition says the function must be continuous. So hence fx is a polynomial and we know that all the polynomials are continuous. So we can say that we can write the statement as fx is a polynomial and hence it is continuous in the closed interval minus 4 comma 2. This is very important. The closed interval must be mentioned, right? Next point, because it is a polynomial and we know that they are derivable in the open interval, so we can say that hence it is a polynomial, hence it is derivable in the open interval a comma b. Now third condition says the value of fa and the value of fb must be equal. Fa is minus 4 and b is 2. So when you put fa, that is f of minus 4, it will be minus 4 square plus 2 into minus 4 minus 8. When we solve, it will be 16 minus 8 plus 16 minus 16, 0. What will get? 0. If you put find the value of f2, then put x equals to 2 here. In the function, what will get? 2 square plus 2 into 2 minus 8. That will be 4 plus 4 minus 8. 8 minus 8, 0. Right, children? So both the fa, that is f of minus 4 and f of 2, the value of the function at 2 is 0, we can say that third condition is verified. Now, when all the conditions are true, so we can say that Rolle's theorem is applicable. When the Rolle's theorem is applicable, that means the derivative of the function at c is equals to 0. So if you find the derivative of this function, what you'll get? 2x plus 2. If you put x equals to c, then f dash c will be 2c plus 2. And when you equate to 0, then the value of c will be minus 1. So the point at which the tangent is parallel to x-axis is minus 1. Right, children? Understood? Note down, please. Let's see another sum, children. In this sum, we have to verify Rolle's theorem and then find the point where the tangent is parallel to x-axis. And the function is given as sine 3x and the interval is closed 0 to pi. Now, we know that the sine x is a periodic function. Sine 3x will also be a periodic function, and it is continuous for all the values of x. That means it is true for all x belongs to real number. So we can say that fx is continuous in closed interval 0 to pi. The derivative of sine 3x is 3 cos 3x, and cos 3x is defined for all values of x. So that means we say that f dash exists in open interval 0 comma pi. Now if we calculate the value of f0, then we'll get sine 3 into 0, sine 0, that will be 0. If we calculate f pi, that will be sine 3 pi, and sine 3 pi will be minus sine 0 and equal to 0. So that means the f0 and f pi both are equal. That means third condition is also verified. Now let's find the points now. The derivative of the function is f dash c is 3 cos 3c, and it is equals to 0. This implies that cos 3c will be 0, right? And the value of 0 in cos, you will get cos pi by 2, cos 3 pi by 2, cos 5 pi by 2. Why I have written 3 value, children? Because all these values are lying in between 0 to pi. See, if you equate 3c equals to pi by 2, you will get the value of c as pi by 6. And if you get 5 pi by 2 equals to 3c, you will get c equals to 5 pi by 6. That is also less than pi. And we can write more values, but that will not lie in this interval. Suppose if you write cos 7 pi by 2 here, and 7 pi by 2, if you equate 3c equals to 7 pi by 2, that means the value of c will be 7 pi by 6. And that is 7 pi by 6 is greater than pi. Right, children? So we have to take all the values which are lying in this interval 0 to pi. Right? So the values will be, so cos 3c equals to, so the value c will be pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and 5 pi by 2. So when we equate to c, when we cross multiply with 3 here, the value of c will be pi by 6, pi by 2 and 5 pi by 6. Right, children? Understood? Note down, please.